happy, happy, happy. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the FFR shop. Hope everybody is doing great. I am, because I'm back at it again working on the pure stock race car. In the last video, you guys saw that we finally busted the engine off, which makes me feel a whole lot better because I know that this car runs now. I've still got it up on jack stands, but I got the shop all organized and clean to start fresh with getting this car on the ground, back on all four tires, getting the dash put in, getting the wiring harness built so that we can check that off the list, get the roof back on, get the front end back on, get the radiator installed, and hopefully this car will be ready to race. We're gonna scratch some stuff off of the list tonight and talk about a really cool sponsor. But before we get into the video, I will be doing the Etenwolf air pump giveaway at the end of this video. So do not click through and miss your opportunity because you may be the lucky winner. So watch to the end and we'll give that pump away. Let's get to work and show you guys what we've got. So first things first on the list is to get this car on the ground so that I can get better access in here to get this wiring started. I want to do a really good job on building this wiring harness so that I know what I've got, get it wrapped up. I bought the stuff right there to make the harness really nice. And so I want to get everything on the ground, get it to where I can access everything in here really good and build this wiring harness, and also go ahead and start mounting the radiator in so that we can get the front end on and actually run this engine. We busted it off. We didn't run it long, but we had great oil pressure. And so I've got to get my new gauges in, and I want to be able to run this thing to where it actually can stay cranked for a little bit. It's been sitting here for over like 5 or 6 hours. No oil dripping, no nothing, no fluids. I haven't seen anything dripping out or leaking. So even though we had to take that intake off, everything's holding good and it's good to go. I can hit the button right now and bust it off, but all of my family's asleep. So what I'm gonna do now is get this thing on the ground and let's start getting a dash put in it. Okay, so I finally got the car down on the ground, which is awesome because now I can actually reach over it. With it being so high, it was getting in my way, but I got my brand new gauge down there, which I bought from Joe, so I'm thankful for that. I've already modified and cut this dash to receive that. I got the old instrument cluster or whatever you want to call it up there. I was able to get this adapter off to make this one work. So now what I'm going to do, I already built myself a really good ground, is I'm going to go ahead and start building my nice harness. And so I'm going to disconnect all this and make sure I get everything built first, and then I'll hook it all up. So I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse getting this thing built and show you guys what I come up with at the end. So let's go. So I'm very proud of this. You guys check this out. I built my own wiring harness. So everything is marked and labeled, runs all back in there nice and neat, turns and goes back, which is my light that I'm gonna have up top, and then the red one that runs up under there. I don't know if you can see it or not. There it is. Goes back to that fan right there. And so them tie in right there, and then it runs all the way down. This jump off is my tack reading from up front. This one here is something that I did this year. I came off right here, and I'm going to mount me a stud so that I can have a positive to check my timing. So it'll actually be curled around right in here and taped off or mounted somehow. I'm gonna figure out how to mount it to where I can use this to check my timing. So I may even mount it out here on some rubber or something, but that's cool. I was gonna put it out here, and then I realized you can't mount that to the frame. But yeah, so that's to check timing, and then it wraps on around out here, and this is all my extras. So I've got everything marked. You got what does that say? T-stud. So that's my timing stud. Then you got all these just marked really nice. And so that's done, ready to go there. Can mark that off the list. And I'll cut everything and put the fittings on once I get done. But you can see I ran it all the way around here. So there's no wiring anywhere. And it comes out right here. These are the two that go over to the ignition and the tach. And then the other two run down, which are my starter and my 12-volt supply. So very happy with that. So now I'm going to work on getting the dashboard mounted and getting that put in here so that we can get the tach in and seeing all what we need for that, and then start hooking everything up to here, and we should be good to go. So let's get this dash put in. So there you go. Then I'll just hook this up. So y'all get the idea. It's a lot of work, very tedious, and takes a while. So I'm not gonna bore y'all with that. I'm gonna sit here and do this for a couple hours. And we'll come back and I'll show you the final product. Talk about just being extremely happy with how something you did turned out. That's what happened here. So I'm done finally. And you can see everything is done. It is nice and secure. I've got all my wires done. Everything is labeled, twisted together, and wired in. I'm happy with it. Everything works like it should. I even got this bolt here that I told you guys that goes hot. And so everything is nice and clean. I should never have to worry about anything messing up. I'm gonna get some of that plastic stuff right there that I showed you guys about and wrap it all up real nice. And that'll be that. But I'm going in for the night. I didn't realize it's already after 12 o'clock. And I am tired. And I don't want to be making no mistakes, especially when I go to start putting this in. And so now I can run all my power, grounds, and all that jazz for this and make sure it's all nice and get it all hooked up. And we'll be good to go. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Just saw a clip. I included a clip of this thing running, and it's running super smooth. Just to address what happened in the first video, that video that I put of us cranking the engine was legit the first start. We had not started the engine before that. So when you saw it crank, that was legit the first time. We didn't like crank it first and then for the video's sake show it cranking. None of that stuff. That was real. So what happened is the lifters were not pumped up yet. And so I think a few subscribers or a few people commented and actually guessed that. That is what happened. The lifters were not pumped up yet. Mr. Steve Edens also called me. I always love when I get a phone call from Mr. Steve because he tells me some pointers and some tips and stuff like that. But you guys just saw the engine's running smooth. I got the radiator out because it was just rigged up in there. That video, the radiator wasn't sitting right. The fan shroud was out and all that jazz. But I've got Christy out here. She's over here with the kids. She's going to help me get the front end brought back in here because I do want to get the radiator installed the correct way. So this is like an old All-Star aluminum shroud or whatever. I believe that the guys who had this in on the car had this upside down. And so I did actually have overheating issues the last race. This car, that's why I pulled in. It went up to 250. At least that's what I thought it said. I couldn't really tell. But I think this was upside down. I think this needs to be up on the top. Who knows? But if this doesn't work, I'm going to end up building my own shroud with some aluminum. But for now, what I need to do is I need to get the front end put back on this. Because if you guys remember, I built this adjustable bar right here. So this front end sits on that. Well, I need to know where that level is so that I can finish drilling these out and pin that for the front end, so I know exactly where the radiator mounts are gonna be. I already did some work to the radiator, and I put some angle iron on this so you can see I got it to where I can mount it the right way. And so I've got the car pushed back just a little bit. I've gone back here to the junk pile, and I'm gonna get this front end, which is right here by the Legend car, also get it brought in the shop, get the little jig I built out of the way, and we're gonna at least try to set the nose on the car and let it sit there so that I can pull some measurements and get this T-bar put in. So let's get that done. All right, let's get this thing undone. Tastes like grass.
But it's lettuce. It just ain't, that's what it tasted like when it ain't fully growing yet.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Pick this up. He's gonna move that wood. Ready?
wait.
Grab right here, babe. Where the big nose is. Ready?
Take it. Judas stuff.
All right. It already looks better. Look at that.
Wow.
But this is exactly where this goes. I got a few pot rivets in, thanks to Christy. She helped me. But now that I've got this mounted, I can move this front end back up and down. I'm gonna set that radiator back in where I can see exactly where it goes, and I can build my mount. But I need this hood, this nose, to be able to let the hood sit on there and clear the radiator. So that's why I didn't know where exactly the up and down was there. So I'm gonna set this radiator back in. I've already told you guys I took the fan shroud off so that I could work with it better. And I'm gonna get this thing set down in here right so that I can get these holes right here drilled so that I can always take this barring out but know how high this thing goes. So I'm gonna get that put in and see how that looks. So I've got the radiator sitting down in here, and I feel like I've got my nose height correct, but I wanna show you guys if y'all can see this. So y'all remember I pulled this thing out of the woods. I didn't build this car. The radiator support on the bottom down here, can y'all see where this radiator sits, which is right down here, is way away from this radiator fan, which I understand that's where they put it. I don't know if they had like an adapter on this fan that moved it forward or whatever. I don't know, I wasn't there whenever they were racing this car. But this radiator was sitting way over like this, like it was lean way over, because this is the hose that was used, and it has the radiator at a real big angle. Now, I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, but I do know that when you look at this, this is angled that exact same way. And so I may make some phone calls and see, but it makes sense why this was the bottom and this was the top. They've got this set up to where it is a little bit of an angle. I don't know if y'all can tell, so maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Maybe this thing was bent, I don't know. So like I said, I'm gonna make some phone calls, but for now, I'm gonna go ahead and drill my holes out here, and I think after I make a phone call, I'm gonna make this radiator sit more flush, like straight up like this, or lean it back just a little bit where I can make my mounting brackets right here. And then if that's the case, I could always just grind that bar off the bottom and move it forward just a little bit. But that's unnecessary work if I can just go to the parts house and buy a hose that's 2 inches longer. So I'm gonna make a phone call real quick, but I am gonna go ahead and get these drilled because I know exactly where my height goes. And then we'll build my brackets right here for my radiator mount. And then once we get that done, I think I can go ahead and secure this front end completely. So let me get that done. So I called and confirmed that the radiator can be straight up and down. I just wanted to be on the safe side. I know that may seem dumb to some people, but I didn't know if it was a benefit to have it angled at all. But I got my bolts drilled, or holes drilled, and my bolts put in. So now the front end can come back off and I can get my radiator completely mounted and build my shaker screen in the front. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Get this thing off again. Grab it. That is so nice that Ronnie made it where that does that. Okay, so that is in. So that's good to go now. And so now what I'm gonna do is, now that I've confirmed that I can make this thing pretty much straight up and down, is I'm gonna use that angle right there, and I'm just gonna build me some tabs to right there. Actually, I have them already. Look at this. So I just gotta go straighten these out, and then these will bolt right there, and then they'll bolt in right there. So let me get them put in real quick. Okay, so the radiator is in. You can see I ended up angling it just a little bit. So it's not near as much as it was. It used to sit like way angled, but the reason I did that is because I was able to use this hose still. And it's not like super, super angled, but it's not straight up and down. I mean, heck, maybe it's in the same spot. I don't care. It works, and I've got plenty of room right here to now build me a shroud. So I'm getting ready to go in, but I'm gonna show you guys the next thing I'm gonna do. So off of this same bar, I'm gonna weld these, and because I'm gonna end up cutting holes in the front of that, I bought this right here. This is like a shaker screen, but I found this at Lowe's. It's an air conditioner like slide in thing. So I'm gonna end up making this into a shaker screen on the front to help prevent the radiator from getting clogged up. And so I'm gonna weld these tabs right here onto the front of this so that it has good strength on both sides. And then I'm gonna hang that, it already has holes, in with these springs right here. Where did I put them? Right here. So it'll be spring loaded, and it'll be hanging on some springs, and then the bottom will be the same way. So I'm gonna see if I can take this out and weld these on real quick and at least get this hanging. So there you have it. So that's what I'm talking about right there. So welded these bars on and got it hanging there. So now you can see shaker screen. So I'm happy with that. It has a lot of bounce to it. Moves back and forth. I'm gonna still put some brackets on the bottom. I don't know where my aluminum went. I bought a piece of aluminum, but I'm gonna come off from the bottom right here, and I'm gonna mount to the bottom as well, probably off of this, so that this thing doesn't do this. So you don't hear it bouncing, but it'll have one more piece to keep it kind of sturdy, and then it'll have more springs on the bottom pulling it down, kinda. And so, or maybe not down, just keeping it out so it's not sitting there flopping like that. But, and don't worry, I'm gonna put another piece of mesh across the this. I know them holes are big, but it'll have one more piece of mesh on the bottom. But that's just something to hopefully help keep some of the dirt out of that radiator whenever I open up some of them holes. If it don't work, it don't work, but should work pretty good. All right, I'm going inside. I'll see y'all next time we're out here. Okay, so it's been a few days. I'm back out here in the shop. I have not been grabbing the camera because I've only been working like 5 or 10 minutes at a time. So I apologize about that, but jumping ahead 3 or 4 days, and I'm gonna show you everything I've got done. But the coolest part is it is time to put the top back on the car. I'm done with the wiring. I'm done with the radiator shroud, all that fun stuff. So Christy's out here, she's gonna help me. But I'm also, real quick, before we do that, and I show you everything I've done, I wanna show you guys our sponsor banner and let you guys see how awesome some of these people are who have supported us for our banner sponsor this year. So let's check this out. Okay, so what we did is, if you guys are following our Facebook page, you guys know about this. If you do not know about this, it's because you're not following us on Facebook. If you don't have a Facebook, I apologize about that. I do not think that I actually mentioned this on the YouTube channel, so sorry, but we can make another one of these. But this is our banner sponsor for our trailer. It hangs in our back of our race car trailer. And so I'm gonna unroll this and I'm gonna show you guys some of the awesome people who jumped on board. And like I said, if you wanna jump on board, I can make a second one. I'm thinking about doing a shop banner and hang it in the shop like we did the Super Clean, so maybe we could talk about that. So y'all check out these awesome sponsors. Ready? There you go. So this is our new banner that's going to be hanging in our trailer. As you can see here, a special thanks to our sponsors, which are the sponsors of this banner. So I want to shout out Reed Christensen, your SCDRA winner, points champion from last year with Import Outlaws. You guys be sure to go check him out on YouTube. He does awesome stuff. Import Outlaws on YouTube. Of course, we got Hatcher Farms Venue. Hatcher Farms supports us this year. Huge shout out to them guys. They've come back on board for the Pure Stock and a few more cars for 2025. Obviously, the Eaton Clinic's our #1 supporter. Always love having them. RJO Racing, Riley Joe, she races a winged go-kart. Really cool to have her on board. We got Savage Saturdays, and so we appreciate Savage Saturdays. They do a podcast where they go to different tracks. Really cool. Riker Shoutout Racing, we appreciate Riker. Heritage Auto, which is a local auto parts to us. And of course, our names here. So if you want to get in here, I'm going to read these all out. I want to say a special thanks to Steve Edens with SWE Racing, Last Minute Racing over in Dothan, Alabama, Jim and Brenda Martin, which are the ones who supported Uriah and Judah's go-kart. We've got Brian Roberts, Nat Family Racing, which you can check him out on YouTube as well. David Downs, Patrick Fraser, and Mark Cordell. So if you do not see your name on this list, please let me know. I thought I captured everybody. And all you have to do to get on this banner, guys, is $20. And so if there are YouTube fans that want to do that, reach out to me on Facebook Messenger or on our email, and we can make another banner for the shop. Christy's got to go because, as you can hear, Judah's screaming in the background. So let me show you what I've got done on this car. Okay, so excuse all the mess because I've been in here wide open today. But I wanted to show you guys I have officially finished the radiator and the shaker screen. So I built all these standoff pieces that mount to this. And so I told you guys I bought this from Lowe's. It was like a screen door piece. Well, what I ended up doing is I just cut the bottom of it out and zip tied it right here to this. And what that does is that lets that bottom flex. It doesn't let it go in and out, but it still lets it shake and flex really good and keeps it from like moving back and forth. You can see there. And then I put these zip ties just in case these springs ever decide to give out. But shaker screen is finished, so that is done. The radiator is in. I was able to take this old piece of junk shroud here and modify it. So you can see I came and massaged it and stretched it out. I've got the shroud that I'm gonna put over it, so y'all don't worry about that. I've got that done. And so that's finished. This tube ended up working, and then I built my mounts, which mount right here so that it doesn't interfere with the top. And so all of this is secure. Radiator is in, good to go. Next thing I did, all of the wiring is officially complete. I've already put my gauges back in. So you can see here, my tack light comes on. So it works, it's all hooked up. Then I've got my ignition, oil pressure, water gauge, lights. So now I got lights, I can see. So something else that's cool is I've got my blower. I already showed y'all that. So it's going. And then my last thing that I did is I hooked up my light. So there you go. I got my light so I can see to get ready. So all I did is wired it up and wrapped it back around so whenever I'm in the car, I'll be able to see. I may adjust that to where it's different, but I don't know. We'll see if that's a good placement. So the dash is in, or this piece is in at least. The gauges are all mounted. So what we're gonna do now is it is time for Christy to help me. It is officially time to put the roof back on and go ahead and button it up. And then I can put this front end back on and start pot ribbing everything together. So I'm excited about that. Let's get it going, babe. There you have it, guys. The pure stock is back together. Thanks, babe. So it's definitely not as straight as it was whenever before I wrecked it. But, I mean, you can see the hood's kind of got some whoop-de-doos and some waves, but I got to come in here and massage some of this. I never fixed that from that fender, so that's fine, though. I'll come massage it. This thing's probably going to get beat up anyway. But I forgot to also mention earlier that I got this piece on so I can put my new number back on that. But everything is done. Roof is back on. Visor's back on. And so everything is solid. Got the visor back on. I love that them bars are not in my way anymore. I'm going to wait on putting this back on because if you remember, I added them bars now instead of them long ones. And so I don't want... I've got to cut and trim around for them bars. Plus, I want to wait until I get that sensor hooked up and then make sure everything runs good. So, but there you go. That's another reason why that thing's all floppy. I haven't got that in yet, so. All right, I'm going to take this hood off. I'm going to get some water in this radiator, and I'm going to bust this thing off and let it run for a second. So I got water in it. I'm going to crank it up, let it run for a minute, build up some temp, and then I may test it and see if it'll drive. See if my shifter linkages break. Good oil pressure. Heck yeah. So there you have it. The Pure Stock runs and drives again. Just drove it down the road. I still have to bleed the brakes, but I did have a little bit of pedal, so that's good. I did notice that the oil pressure light, as soon as you turn this on, it's coming on and staying on. So not sure what that's about. I have to do some research on that. I do have to plug in this temp sensor right here. This is like a secondary, I guess, a warning light. But I don't see any oil leaks. I got my fan shroud put in. I don't see no leaks. It drove, shifted fine. I'm happy with it. So there you go. Pure Stock's driving again. It is so exciting to know that I just drove this thing again and I can move it in and out of the shop, wash it, clean it, and get a good setup on it. And so I'm pumped about that. I'd still have to do a few massages on that metal over there to get the hood right. But hey, there you go. I told y'all by the end of this video, this thing would probably be done. So I'm gonna call that a wrap here and sign it off for the Pure Stock video. But I'll tell you guys this, before we go, don't leave yet. We're gonna go give away the Etenwolf pump. So you guys stay to the end. But what I wanna say is I am gonna have one more video of this. And the reason why is I'm gonna get it cleaned, I'm gonna get the holes drilled, and we're gonna scale it, and we're gonna get a good setup on it. I may even take it over to Ronnie Roberts and get him to do a setup on it. So I cannot do all this without, or make this video and end it off without thanking these amazing sponsors. Hatcher Farms Venue, they come back on board. I appreciate them. Always Port City Motorsports, St. Elmo Feed and Seed, Drury Designs for the wrap, Victory Fuel, you guys go check that out. FFR1 for 10% off. The Eaton Clinic, Towboys Motorsports, Mr. Steve Edens, Weir's a Machine, Roberts Race Cars, Splash Vinyl, Morgan Speed Solutions, and anybody else. We've got the Gulf Coast Gator Ranch. I'm going to be putting their sticker on here. They've come on board. And Miss Morgan Speed Solutions, did I already say them? And also my golf cart shop, which we're going to be doing some videos about just the golf cart stuff and a few of our other sponsors. So you guys let me know what you think. I'm pumped about it. The car drove out of the shop, which is amazing. And so I'm happy. What can you say? Except I'm happy. I'm happy, happy, happy. Anyways, all right, let's get inside and give away an Etenwolf air pump. Okay, guys, we're going to make this quick. I've got the Etenwolf giveaway video right here. So we're going to pick a winner for the pump. If you guys are not subscribed yet, make sure you're subscribed because we have some really cool giveaways coming up soon from some product sponsors. So we're going to paste this URL right here in the random YouTube comment picker. Get all the comments. Anything goes. 62 comments. So let's see who's the winner of the Etenwolf air pump.
Can I pick it?
Look at this. Clay from Mobile. Etenwolf, babe. Sounds like it has some power. Hopefully you won't have to use it much. Look forward to seeing you get the hang of the rear wheel drive. Keep digging. Clay, Brandy's Man, LCM 1011. You are the winner. Congratulations. Get with me and we'll get you your Etenwolf air pump. So that's a wrap for this video. Sorry it was a little bit longer, but we got a lot done. Really good news for me, but unfortunately I have really bad news for you guys at the end of this one. The next video does not go so well for Travis with our new front wheel drive engine for the Kokomo 100 race. By now you probably already know that that race got canceled. We built a beast of an engine for Travis, and unfortunately it does not end well. So you guys stay tuned for that video. I'm in the process of editing it now. I've also already started the next Pure Stock video where we talk about scaling the car and getting everything done. Everything's going smooth. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to help us grow our channel and to follow along some of our builds. Be on the lookout for Travis's video. I hate that I'm having to edit that one, but it is what it is sometimes in racing. You guys, thanks for helping us grow our channel into what it's been. So continue to hit the like button to help share all these videos by sharing them. Let your friends know about us. Until next time, God bless. We'll see you in the next one.